Bonjour. I'm going to be working with you today to show you how you can use DIFOOP to help you with how to write a 150-word answer in your higher writing exam. So what you need to be thinking about when you get your question, this year you get 3 questions to be able to choose from. You only need to choose one. So they've made it so that you've got one from each of the 3 themes to be able to choose from in order to try and make it a little bit easier for you, having had lots of your teaching during lockdown. So when you get your exam question, you need to think, DIFOOP, that's going to be the thing that's going to help you to be able to work out what to write. So stands for underline and model verb, and then DIFOOP, divide the bullet points, ideas, fancy phrases, opinions, and on put. So let's have a look at how you use it. So you can see here, the first thing to do is underline. So the question that I've got for you here is one about technology. So we're going to underline the keywords in these 2 bullet points in order to be able to work out what it is that you're needing to do. So we've got les avantages, advantages, and then désavantages, disadvantages de la technologie. So those are the key words. If we don't know what those mean, then we're going to struggle to answer this question. And then, comment vous avez utilisé votre portable récemment? So how you have used your mobile recently. So again, keywords, how we've used it. So we're talking about the verbs to be able to use it. We're talking about your mobile. Be really careful. People that answered this question that hadn't read mobile and just said technology generally ended up not getting a great mark for it because they didn't specify that it was their mobile. And then here is the récemment, great clue for the fact that bullet point they wanted to talk in the past tense recently. Now, model verb, this is a good thing to do so that you remember how to do your tenses. So if you make a model that you start at the very beginning, before you start writing out your 150-worder, you just take the verb jouer, because it's a nice normal ER verb, regular verb, and you write it out in all of the tenses so that you can see if ever you want to be able to use an ER verb in your writing, you can have a quick look at your model at the start and think, oh, how is it again that I need to do it in the imperfect, for example, or how is it that I need to do it in the conditional? So it can just be that thing that refreshes you and refreshes your memory and helps you to be accurate in your writing. So we'll pretend that I'm writing it out now. So jouer, I'd write je joue, I play, and then j'ai joué, I played. Yeah, so we're always remembering about that accent on the E at the end with the avoir at the beginning as well for your past tense or perfect tense. Je vais jouer, I'm going to play. Je jouais, AIS, I used to play. Je jouerai, so AIS onto the end of the whole infinitive, I would play. Je jouerai, AI, I will play, and that's it. So if you can write those 6 tenses down, your present, your perfect, your near future, so that's je, j'ai, né, je vais plus verbe complet, and then your imperfect, which is the AIS onto the end of just the stem, and jouerai, AIS onto the end of the infinitive, and then jouerai, AI onto the end of the infinitive, and then you can have those to be able to refer to. So next, the D of the DIFOOP. You divide the bullet point up into 4 individual bullet points. So here we go. The first one, advantages and disadvantages, we've divided it up into advantage 1, advantage 2, disadvantage 1, disadvantage 2. And then the second bullet point was how you used it recently. So 2 activities, an opinion, and maybe a future activity is the way that I've divided it up. But you could divide it up however you want to, as long as what you're talking about fits with that bullet point. So then, ideas is your I of DIFOOP. So decide on some ideas or just a short sentence or a few words in French for each bullet point. So my 2 advantages, I've decided to do rester en contact as one advantage and Internet riche en information as my second advantage. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to just pad out with a bit when I come to do my 150-word writing. My couple of disadvantages are cyberintimidation, cyberdépendance, devenir accro, 2 things I can remember how to say and talk about a bit. And then how you've used your phone recently. So I've got, I'm remembering that it's the perfect tense I need. So I've got j'ai regardé. I could have checked my jouer to make sure that that's definitely how I do my perfect tense. And then je suis allé sur Instagram. So we're remembering that je suis allé is a bit of a different one. Allé is irregular. takes être. And then our opinion that we planned we were going to say, divertissant, so entertaining, mais accrochant, but addictive. I want to try and use some nice, interesting adjectives rather than just like amusant and super, and to try and sound a bit more interesting than that. And then future activity on the phone, so we're going to maybe try and add another tense there. So yeah, I've just put in je vais jouer sur FIFA. Now, F stands for fancy phrases, and your teacher might give you some different fancy phrases, but I tend to give these ones to my classes. So all silly queens adore blueberry jam cake is the way that we remember it. So we've got I found her plus infinitive. Lots of these are the infinitive after. So I found her in order to. Si j'avais le choix, j'aimerais plus infinitive. If I had the choice, I would like. Quand j'étais jeune, j'aimais plus infinitive. Après être plus past participle, bien que ce soit plus adjective, j'aurais préféré plus infinitive, and ce qui me plaît, c'est plus infinitive. So those are the fancy phrases, the 7 phrases that we have got at our disposal to be able to put into our 150 worder that will just boost the level a bit if you can just put a few of those in. So once you've remembered your fancy phrases and you've maybe made a note of all silly queens adore blueberry jam cake along the side of your piece of paper, you then come back to your the way that you've divided up your bullet points, and you see if you can put any of those fancy phrases into the way that you've divided up your bullet points. So my first advantage was rester en contact. Well, one of my fancy phrases is I found her, so in order to. So that works. In order to stay in contact with my friends, I know that I use my phone a lot, or something you could say. The second one, quand j'étais jeune, j'aimais. So when I was little, I used to like surfing on the internet. So that works quite well. I could put that into my second advantage that I had put about the internet being rich in information. Maybe another one that could fit in here with the disadvantage might be bien que ce soit amusant, il y a un risque. So even though it's fun, there's a risk of, and then cyberintimidation, whatever it was that I decided I was going to put for my disadvantage. Then for the next bullet point, I've put in my first activity, which was going to be the j'ai regardé Netflix, I think I'd said. Actually, I thought, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I could put in après avoir regardé Netflix. After having watched Netflix, I did whatever it is. Activity 2, j'aurais préféré regarder. So yes, I've been able to put in I would have preferred to watch. So that works if I say après avoir regardé, Shrek sur Netflix, j'ai fait mes devoirs. J'aurais préféré regarder un film d'horreur, mais ma mère est très stricte or something. I would have preferred to watch a horror film rather than Shrek, but my mom is really strict. You could put something like that. And then your opinion, ce qui me plaît, c'est, what pleases me is, just a bit more interesting than j'aime. So it's a nice, one of those fancy phrases. And then a future tense one, well, si j'avais le choix, j'aimerais, if I had a choice, I would like to play FIFA all the time. So you can see how you could add in those fancy phrases. You don't have to do as many as me. I reckon probably 3 would do it. But I just wanted to show you how I've used a few of them in there. Okay. And then the last bit, the OOP bit, we've got start your writing with an opinion phrase to introduce it. So always start at the beginning with à mon avis, il y a beaucoup d'avantages, or je dirais que. So in my opinion, or I would say that. Because that way you tick the box of having given your opinion. That's one part of the mark scheme, that you have to have given your opinion and reason. So if you start the very first sentence with an opinion, then straight away that's that part of the mark scheme done and ticked off. And the last little bit is this on peut. And this is a great little construction to use, on peut plus infinitive. The vast majority of 150 word questions that I've seen ask you for things that you are able to do with stuff, so advantages, disadvantages of your town, of a holiday, of going shopping, of everything really. And this on peut works really, really well. It's really easy to remember because all you need to do is follow it with the infinitive, and you can get a really high level phrase using that in your work, and it will work for everything. It's really good and transferable. And that's it. So there is one for you to have a go at. You could have a go at this one, or you could have a go at another one that you've been working on with your teacher, maybe an environment one or something else. But have a little go at trying to plan your own 150 worder with DIFOOP. So remember, underline, model verb, divide up the bullet points, get your ideas, fancy phrases, opinions, and on per. Okay? En chance.